Hey guys, Nalabyte here, and welcome to Choices That Matter. Now, if you guys haven't been able to tell from my playthrough of Westward Dystopia, I absolutely adore the Choose Your Own Adventure games. And this is another one I found. It looked like it might be interesting, so I figured we'd give it a try. Hopefully, I will be back in Texas by the time this goes up. But I may not. It just depends on when we decide to come back. We're gonna be, well, by the time you guys see this, we'll have already at least been in Texas. But we are planning on leaving early, or late. We were going to be leaving Thursday, but we're going to be leaving Friday instead. So, I mean, like I said, by the time you guys actually see this, we'll have already be in Texas or home already. So... yeah, here we go, guys. Let's get this started. Now, this game is on the Google Play Store for Android. And it looks, like I said, looks like it might be pretty cool. It's got 3 stories. The first one being And the Sun Went Out. The second one is And Their Souls Were Eaten. And then the third one is And Their Heroes Were Lost. So we're going to start with And the Sun Went Out and see how things go. Getting updates on the story. I hope this does not take very long. Looks like it might take longer than I wanted, so I'm going to go ahead and pause it here, and I will bring you guys back when it starts. And yeah, there's the people who made this, Tin Man Games. Developed with the assistance of Victoria Store Government and Film Victoria Australia. I am 13 years old or older. Yeah, I can't even talk tonight. This may not be a good idea. Choice is an interactive fiction app that updates once per week, supported by in-app purchases, yada yada yada. The first part of the story is free. This is just the beginning, and we plan on introducing more stories within the app. There is no death in your future, but that does not mean your decisions are without risk. Ooh. Choices. Day 95, and the orange ball of gas that sustained life on the planet for billions of years was still burning in the sky. The scientists were completely wrong, thankfully. We're going to turn this down just in case. Something vibrated on my wrist. I raised my hand and studied the watch-like device. It was Modicon, or simply Modi, as I called them. Hello, teacher. The temperature this afternoon is a crisp 30 degrees Fahrenheit. I hope you're wearing a warm jacket. Don't forget that you also need to pick up the travel documents from Miss Montague. She's expecting you at her home. Stepping out of the train car, I adjust my coat. Modi was right. I should have worn the one with the wool lining. Too late to worry about that now. Dolores Montague's house wasn't too far away from the train station. As my boots crunched through the snow, I felt Moti vibrating on my wrist. As ever, Moti's cheerful face greeted me. You have just received a message from Professor Soul. He is insisting you see his latest breakthrough right away. Ooh. Okay, do we want to visit Mrs. Montague or Professor Soul? Montague could possibly be a romance, but Soul could possibly be more interesting. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to close my eyes, and then I'm going to tap. Whichever one I tap on is the one I go with. Okay, visit Professor Soul it is. Dolores could wait. Even if Soul's matter wasn't urgent, he had become unhinged since the incident. We'll swing by the professor's place first, Modi. Send a message to Dolores to let her know that I might be a little late. Okay, would you like to review the message I composed? Yeah, no, I'm not gonna trust, no. Yeah, no. Sure, Modi. Dolores, I'll be slightly delayed, unfortunately. Is this message adequate, teacher? It's pitch perfect, Modi. I knew you could do it. Thank you, teacher. I have sent the message. Before I knew it, I was trudging through the bitter snow on the professor's front lawn. There was a dull, muffled noise coming from inside the house. I pushed the buzzer next to the front door and waited. Yes, came a voice through the intercom. It sounded a little strange, more than the usual anyway. It's me, Professor. I'm in the basement. There was relief in his voice. Click. it's got sound effects. That was the sound of the door unlocking. Taking that as an invitation, I opened the door and let myself in. I noticed a large suitcase sitting by the front door. From its bulging sides, I had the impression it was overpacked. Was Sol going somewhere? He hadn't said anything about a trip. Examine the suitcase, go to the basement. Examine the suitcase, because I'm a nosy bitch. I knelt by the luggage and examined it. There was a tag labeled Flying Falls. Why was the professor going there? More importantly, it looked like it was packed in a great hurry. The professor wasn't exactly a beacon of tidiness, but this was messy even by his standards. The spatial efficiency in the suitcase is very poor. I recommend repacking it, teacher. I chuckled as I stood up and walked towards the stair. I'll pass on your advice to the professor, Modi. Wow. What is English? I opened the door to the basement and gingerly felt my way down the wooden stairs. It was as black as pitch down there, and I could barely see in front of my face. Suddenly I was hit in the face by the light switch cord. As I fumbled to grip it, a voice rasped in my ear. No, it must remain dark. Jumping from the shock of the hot breath on my ear, I let go of the cord. Why can't I turn on the lights? Oh, okay. Why can't I turn on the lights? Don't ask foolish questions. Come here. I can't talk. A dim glow appeared, highlighting a disheveled, unshaven face. His reddened eyes bored into me, into mine as he beckoned me over with a bony finger. Why is it so hard to English tonight? I hesitated. Remember what happened last time. I think I'll politely decline. I'll stay right where I am. Thanks, Professor. There was no telling what could happen this time. I was certainly not going to be an unwitting subject of another experiment. Granted, his experiments were usually harmless, but that wasn't the point. Undeterred, Sol stepped in my, Now, Professor, I can hear you just fine from here. Picking up a piece of paper with a symbol scrawled on it, he thrust it in my direction. Okay. Stop this foolishness and look, it's crucial. But what's this got to do with the sun? But why did you call me here? Sol paused for a moment, then looked at me, excited. Yes, the sun. It all comes back to the sun. People have a right to... A glint caught my eye from the top of the stairs, and I instinctively stepped back. Bang! Sol cried out and slumped to the floor. Oh no! Professor! I leaped to his side and fluttered my hands over his chest, desperate to stop the bleeding, but not wanting to hurt my friend. Hands shaking, I glanced back at the top of the stairs and spotted a shadowy figure running off. A gurgled sound made me turn my head back to Sol. He looked like he was trying to tell me something. Well, he's probably gonna die anyway. That's just the way these stories go. And, I mean, yes, focusing on trying to stop the bleeding would probably be a very good idea. But I get the feeling that it's not gonna actually stop the bleeding, and then we'll end up missing what he's trying to tell us. And I have a feeling what he's trying to tell us is more important. I mean, in a real life situation, yes, I would try and stop the bleeding. But in a video game situation where the course is pretty much predetermined, I'm gonna say we're gonna listen to what he's trying to tell me. I was never much good at anatomy in high school, but I knew what the chances were that he'd survive. See? Same reasoning. I tilted my head and lowered my ears as close as possible to the professor's mouth, my heart thundering. Nothing. He was still. Soul? Teacher, the professor has passed. Well, crap. Damn it. Silently cursing, I was about to pull my trembling hand away from his chest when I felt something under the professor's lab coat. Steadying my hand, I reached in and pulled it out of his pocket. It was a card sleeve containing a printed bus ticket, emblazoned with the red and white coyote logo of the long-distance bus company. Itinerary scanned and stored. Travel destination Flying Falls. A single thought broke through my shock. The murderer was getting away. Not having any time to think, I pushed the ticket into my pocket, ran over to Saul's working desk, and pulled open the top drawer, knowing what I'd find inside. I bet he's gonna find a gun. Professor's revolver. Oh yeah. It was a small gun at 8 inches in length, and it was made of sturdy stainless steel. Try saying that 3 times fast. I glanced over at Saul's lifeless body one last time. I'm sorry, Professor, I whispered. I snatched up the revolver and leaped up the stairs. The murderer couldn't have gone very far, not with the adrenaline pumping through my veins. I could see the door swinging wide open from the attacker's intrusion. Okay. Logic this out. If you just shot and killed somebody, why would you be standing there waiting for somebody else to come? Why wouldn't you just hightail it out of there? So my thoughts is that he's not the attacker, male or female, whatever we're gonna call it. It's not gonna be there right now. It would have already tried to take off running. So why would I approach it slowly and carefully? However, if I take off charging through it, there's a high possibility that somebody heard the gunshot, is going to see me running off, and think that I'm the one that killed him. Which is probably going to how this is going to turn out anyway. I love these games, but I hate making the choices. We're going to slowly and carefully approach it. Raising the gun, I kept my form low and moved slowly towards the front door, ensuring I always had the option to duck behind something solid. Once I was next to the door, I pressed my back against the wall and carefully pushed the door open wider. I leaned out a little and scanned through the opening. No one was outside. Releasing my breath, I quickly stepped through the door and into the bitter cold of the street, hoping that I hadn't lost the trail. Teacher, there are fresh footprints leading to the left. Thanks, Modi. Yeah, Modi. I had to make sure that's the name I gave him. Thanks, Modi, I said, and followed the trail, my boots sinking into the snow with each heavy footsteps. Desperately, I scanned the street for anyone suspicious. The street was completely bare. It looked like my luck had run out, when suddenly... There! Someone was getting onto a bus. That could be them. But before I could go after them, I noticed someone else, slipping into a nearby alleyway. One or the other. It couldn't be both of them. Oh, great. Okay, chase the person down the alley or run for the bus stop. If I just killed somebody, I'd want to get out of sight. I wouldn't want to be anywhere near the crime scene, so that could still be either one of them. But on the bus stop, it could just be a pedestrian. And why would somebody be running down the alley? We're gonna chase the person down the alley. The shadowy figure disappeared down the alley, and I crunched through the fallen snow in hot pursuit. Skidding around the corner, my feet pounded the concrete. There, the tall person wearing an overcoat and a hat was running down the alley. They were too far away. I had to get their attention or they would escape. Why not make everything good? Soul told me everything. It didn't work, not even a little. The person continued running at a surprising speed over the snow. Cursing under my breath, I pointed the revolver at the figure, my hands shaking. Oh boy. Pull the trigger or chase after the attacker. Okay. Pulling the trigger might hit them, but what if it's not actually the attacker? On the other hand, if I don't pull the trigger and I just chase them and it is the attacker could possibly get away. Oh, do we throw all our oats in one basket? Because I really don't think it's going to be that simple. I don't know. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by the toe. If he hollers, make him pay $50 every day. Mama told me you were the very best one, and you are not it. Okay, we chase after the attacker. I lowered the gun and continued my pursuit on foot. I followed them into the alley and saw that the person had stopped in their tracks. They stared at me, and I couldn't help but gasp. Most of their face was hidden by their scarf, but I could see their eyes staring into my own. They glinted gold in the light, unsettling me. The person gave me a muffled chuckle, then they turned and ran, scrambling over the fence. Why didn't I shoot? Hey, stop! Realizing I was losing my one lead, I continued to chase after them, only to stop at the fence. Shoot the lock on the fence's gate. Hopefully there's more than one bullet in that. I drew the revolver, steadied my aim, and fired. The gunshot echoed almost deafeningly in the alleyway. As well as being conspicuous, the shot was wasted. The lock remained securely fastened on the fence. Blech. I could always try shooting again, but I risked drawing attention myself. It seemed I had been lucky this time. Climb the fence instead. After taking a deep breath, I continued pulling myself up the fence with both my arms, trying to get as much weight off my feet as possible. The ice had made the wire footholds unreliable. When I finally reached the top, I swung my leg over, but before I could swing my other leg over, I slipped again. Oh, this is gonna hurt. Only this time my hand slipped, and I fell helplessly over the other side of the fence. The last thing I remembered was the snow-covered concrete rushing towards my face. Oh, this is gonna hurt. I opened my eyes and stared up at the clouded sky. I was on my back with snow in my clothes and hair. Teacher! Teacher? Are you okay? I'm fine, Modi, I said before wincing from the pain at the side of my head. I touched it and looked at my fingers. Flakes of dried blood. My head was bleeding, but no longer. How long was I out? Only 5 minutes, teacher. Please, you must go to the hospital. You might have a concussion. I don't think we have time for that. 5 minutes was more than enough time for the murderer to disappear. Feeling like I was missing something, I searched my surroundings. Then it hit me. Professor Soul's revolver. It was missing. Golden Eyes must have taken it. Then I felt my phone vibrating in my pocket. Nothing I could do about the revolver now. Modi, who's calling? It's Miss Montague. This is her 5th call. 5 calls in the past 5 minutes? Put her through, Modi. Actually, she's been calling for 10 minutes since during your pursuit. I'll put her through now, teacher. I heard the call connect. Dolores. Is everything okay? What? Of course not, Dolores answered, sounding bewildered. How long are you planning on making me wait? I winced, this time not from physical pain. Sorry, I'll be there as soon as I can. Just hurry up. She hung up the phone before I could say anything else. I would have told her about Soul's murder otherwise. It suddenly occurred to me that all of Soul's research, which I needed, was still in the professor's basement. On the other hand, I had made Dolores wait long enough, and I really needed the itinerary from her. Teacher, what shall we do? We need to go back to Soul's. He got murdered. Little Miss Bitch Pants can wait for us to go see her. We need to take care of our friend's business and find out why he was murdered. If Soul was murdered because of his research, then we need to secure it while we still have the chance, Modi. Stepping out into the main street, I started walking towards Soul's house. It was already mid-afternoon, and the snow-covered roads were about to get busier. Yes, teacher. It took me a moment to notice that Modi didn't have their usual jovial chirp. I'll be fine. My head doesn't hurt that bad, so quit worrying. Yes, teacher. I sighed and did not say anything else. The land will freeze over the 100th day. Warily eyeing the man with the megaphone standing on a small box, I made sure to keep my distance as I walked around him. Your crops will freeze over on the 100th day. Your children will freeze over on the 100th day. Brace yourself for the frozen hell. I am unable to find any scientific literature to support his claims, teacher. He's just scared, Modi. The sun thing got a lot of people spooked. It's a prophecy, Modi. You won't find it in scientific journals. Yeah, it's a prophecy. I have never seen this prophecy before, teacher. Is he trying to form a new religion? I nodded. Possibly, if he can build a following. Does religion make people happy, teacher? For some people it does. I glanced back at the man with the megaphone. Just because this part right here is about religion, please don't have a bunch of flaming wars down in the comments about it. Please, I prefer to stay away from all of that. It's like politics. You just don't talk about it. It always leads with hurt people and feelings and friendships ending. It's just best not to go there. I glanced back at the man with the microphone. Ever since the incident, many doomsayers took to the streets, even on chilly winter days. Each one of them made gloomy predictions of our fate. The doomsayers that I had just walked past, however, was the gloomiest I had encountered so far. Still, like all the rest, I ignored him and pressed on. After about 10 minutes, I was crossing the front lawn of Professor Sol's house. The door was still slightly ajar. Should we call the police, teacher? Not yet, Modi. We can't risk having the research locked up as evidence. Oh, cool! That's cool. Okay. We are going to end this right here, guys. We're going on 21 minutes, and stupid things. I'll get that figured out, I hope. So yes, I'm going to end this right here. Let me know what you guys think about it so far in the comments below, and we will pick it up next time, because you know I just love doing full games. Anyway, thank you all for watching. If you liked this video, mash that like button like it's on a controller, and feel free to comment and subscribe for more content in the future. And as always, I'm Nalabyte, and I will see you all in the next one. Later, guys!